20 kilograms of solid gold hanging from your neck. It's not jewelry. It's not a symbol of wealth. It's a torture device designed with mathematical precision to break your vertebrae as you walk. You are the most powerful queen of the East, the woman who defied Caesar's heirs and split the Roman Empire into 3 pieces. You conquered Egypt. You cut off Rome's grain supply. You declared yourself Augusta. You believed Rome was dying. You were wrong. Now, you're gasping under the weight of your own crown, your legs trembling, sweat running down your face, washing away the royal makeup, revealing raw fear beneath the mask. 2 slaves walk beside you, holding the chains so they don't rip your arms from their sockets or snap your neck. But they're not helping out of compassion. They're helping to prolong the spectacle, because if you collapse and die right here, the show ends, and the show cannot end. The true terror is not the chains. The true terror is the noise you hear in the distance. Hundreds of thousands of Roman throats roaring for blood, demanding to see the warrior queen reduced to a chained pet. Welcome to the Roman triumph. Welcome to hell on earth. Your name is Zenobia of Palmyra, and this is the price you're paying for believing Rome could be defeated. But here's what you don't know yet. Here's the twist that makes this nightmare even darker. The gold crushing your spine right now? It's your gold. The wealth you used to finance your rebellion, Roman blacksmiths melted down the Palmyra treasury and forged it into the chains that are killing you. The irony is cruel and deliberate. Every step toward the Roman Forum is a step toward your destruction. You know what happens at the end of this road. You've heard the stories. Vercingetorix, the Gallic king who united the tribes against Caesar. They exhibited him, humiliated him, then strangled him in the Tullianum, a damp hole under the city. Jugurtha, the king of Numidia. He died of starvation in that same darkness, naked and mad. The question keeping you awake in your mobile cell isn't whether you'll die, it's how. Will they throw you to the beasts in the Colosseum? Hand you over to the soldiers for entertainment? Or has Emperor Aurelian planned an even more twisted end for the woman who almost destroyed his empire? 1,000 meters remain. 800. 500. Behind you, in a chariot pulled by 4 deer, an eccentricity only a man like Aurelian could afford, rides the emperor, wearing purple tunic embroidered in gold, his face painted with red minium to resemble Jupiter. He is a living god. A slave holds a laurel crown over his head and whispers, "Look behind you. Remember, you are only a man." But today, that phrase seems empty. Today, Aurelian has absolute power of life and death. The contrast is brutal. Aurelian at the top, you in the abyss. The procession stops. You've reached the foot of the Capitoline Hill, the moment of truth. The crowd noise drops. Electric tension runs through the Via Sacra. The legionaries surround the prisoners. Your advisors, your generals, your philosophers are dragged to the left toward the darkness of the Mamertine prison. Screams are heard, pleas in Aramaic. They know they'll die in the damp darkness. Strangled with a garrote, a centurion stands in front of you, puts his hand on the hilt of his gladius. You wait for the pull, the push toward the execution cell. You close your eyes, wait for the cold of the underground stone. But the push doesn't come. Aurelian has made a different calculation, and what he has planned for you might be worse than death. Killing a barbarian king is routine. Killing a woman, a queen who's captured the public imagination with her exotic beauty and audacity, could be counterproductive, could seem un-Roman, could seem like fear. And Aurelian has no fear. He wants to demonstrate such crushing moral superiority that death would seem a gift. He has a much stranger fate reserved for you. The centurion signals, "You're not going to prison." The procession continues, but you're separated from the condemned. The crowd is confused. Where's the blood? Where's the corpse? The emperor ascends the temple. The bulls are sacrificed. Smoke rises to the sky. Victory is total. But while Rome gets drunk on free wine and celebrates, you're taken to a villa on the outskirts. In Tivoli, near the villa of the former Emperor Hadrian, they remove your gold chains. The physical relief is immediate, but the psychological weight doubles. They give you Roman matron clothing, give you servants, tell you you're free within the property limits. Aurelian hasn't forgiven you out of kindness. He's turned you into something far more humiliating than a corpse. He's turned you into a Roman housewife, the great rebel, the new Cleopatra, the woman who conquered Egypt and split the empire, condemned to spend your days organizing dinners, weaving wool, aging in the darkness of anonymity, while the empire you tried to destroy keeps turning without you. Can you imagine that fate? Survival without purpose? Life without meaning? You're alive, yes. You have food, you have shelter, but when you close your eyes, you don't see Italy's cypresses. You see Palmyra's sands you'll never step on again. You see the faces of friends you pointed out to be killed in exchange for your life. The gold they removed from your neck is gone. But the weight of survival is a chain that cannot be removed. Rome allowed you to keep your body, but it ripped out your soul. But Zenobia was lucky. Decades earlier, another royal family didn't receive the mercy of domestic exile. When Rome captured Queen Boudica and her daughters, terror took a different form. Not chains and parades. Something far more vile. Because sometimes the cruelest weapon isn't execution. It's using a woman's own body to destroy her political future. It's strategic rape designed to erase her from the dynastic map. Let me show you what happened in Britannia. Because what the Romans did to Boudica's daughters makes Zenobia's fate look merciful. Forget the sun of Italy. Forget marble villas. We go north to the rain, to the mud, to the very edge of the known world. Here, in Britannia, Roman civilization doesn't wear golden masks. Here, the imperial machinery shows its rusted teeth full of blood. Year 60 AD. The king of the Iceni, Prasutagus, has just died. He was a prudent man, a collaborator. He believed he could buy his family's safety by playing by Rome's rules. In his will, he left half his kingdom to Emperor Nero and the other half to his 2 teenage daughters. He thought it was life insurance. He thought Rome would respect the law. How naive. For the local Roman administrators, a client kingdom isn't an ally. It's a bank account waiting to be liquidated. The king's will is ignored before the ink dries. Roman soldiers don't send diplomats. They send centurions with permission to plunder. Boudica, the widow, the queen, comes out to receive them. She demands respect, demands her husband's will be fulfilled. Rome's response is a meticulously designed act of state terrorism. There's no trial. No accusation. The soldiers grab the queen in front of her own tribe. They tie her to a post like a common criminal, like a disobedient slave. The whip falls on the royal back 1, 2, 10 times. The skin opens. Royal blood stains the muddy ground. The message is clear. Your title means nothing. Your lineage doesn't protect you. You are flesh, and flesh obeys. But the physical horror of the lashes is only the preamble. What follows is what really makes history scream. The Roman officers look at the king's 2 daughters. They're girls, noble virgins. In Celtic culture, their purity and status are sacred. For Rome, they're simply surplus assets of a liquidation. They give the order. What happens next isn't abuse. It's systematic and public rape. The legionaries drag the princesses. They don't do it in a dark alley, but in plain sight, under the helpless gaze of the Iceni nobles and their own bleeding mother. It's strategic rape. By destroying the daughters' purity, Rome is destroying their political future, their ability to marry, their legitimacy to rule. They're erasing them from the dynastic map, using their own bodies as an eraser. When the soldiers finish, they leave the three women lying in the mud, laugh, plunder the house, take the silver. For them, it's just another Tuesday in a barbarian province. They believe they've broken the Iceni spirit. They believe that after such humiliation, no one will ever dare raise their eyes again. It's the bloodiest miscalculation in the history of Roman occupation in Britannia. Boudica doesn't break. While cleaning the blood from her daughters, something inside her dies. The woman who tried to negotiate, the political widow. And something new is born, something cold, dark, and absolutely lethal. The Romans saw no threat in those crying women on the ground. They didn't understand, they just created their own nemesis. Boudica rises. There are no tears, only a silent promise of total annihilation. Rome lit a fuse in the heart of those three women, and the explosion to come will leave no stone upon stone in London. But this treatment wasn't exclusive to barbarians. Rome could be just as cruel to the oldest royalty in the world. Even pharaohs could be reduced to chained pets. Let me show you what happened to Cleopatra's sister. Stiriți acest bese. Julius Caesar organizes the most extravagant spectacle Rome has ever seen. 4 triumphs, 4 days of parades, Gaul, Pontus, Africa, Egypt. But on the day dedicated to Egypt, something goes wrong. In the procession marches Princess Arsinoe IV. She's Cleopatra's younger sister, maybe 20 years old, perhaps less. A girl woman who had the audacity to lead an army against Roman legions in Alexandria. Who forced Caesar himself to swim for his life in the harbor to escape her soldiers? For that humiliation, Caesar wants to see her broken. Arsinoe walks loaded with chains. But unlike bearded and fierce barbarian kings the crowd loves to hate, Arsinoe looks fragile, a tragic figure, a Hellenistic princess educated in marble palaces, now dragged like a common slave. And then the unthinkable happens. The roar of the crowd demanding death dies down. The Romans look at the chained girl and feel no pride. They feel pity. They see in her the fall of ancient nobility. Murmurs are heard. Is this necessary? They ask themselves. Does Caesar need to crush a girl to prove he's great? Pity is dangerous. Pity quickly turns to anger against the conqueror. Caesar, the shrewdest politician in history, reads the temperature instantly. He realizes he's crossed an invisible line. If he executes her as tradition demands, the crowd might turn against him. The triumph could turn into a riot.